Producer Chaos.
Yes, sir.
You ready?
Yes, sir.
All right. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3.
Coming to you from the Poorly Painted Studios in Cumming, Georgia, this is the Chuck and Z Show. And now, here's Chuck and Z.
What up, everybody? Welcome to the Chuck and Z Show. Of course, I'm Chuck.
I'm Z.
And today we have a very special guest that we're going to introduce in a couple of minutes, Miss Jess Brown.
Yeah. So I always jam out to that amazing intro that our friend,
I know
our producer, Sharon.
So not only is Producer Chaos over here very good at producing shows, she's also a professional voiceover artist.
Yeah.
And recorded that intro for us. Now, we added the music, but she recorded the audio. Mm-hmm. And she did a phenomenal job with it.
Awesome job. So.
I remember the first time we played it live, I sat there a couple of seconds, I was like, how am I supposed to follow that? That's like, it builds you up. It's like when you meet someone, like you're going on a date, and the first thing they say to you is like, oh my God, this is going to be such a great date. And you're like, it's a lot of pressure.
I hope so. So much pressure.
I hope so. But yeah, so I don't want to. I always say, I'm going to be honest. Every time I say this person's Instagram name, I mess it up. I say Bikes and Bellagio, but that's not it. What is it? Please get her Instagram name right.
Jess Brown's Instagram is Bikes and Balayage.
What is a balayage?
It's a process of coloring your hair. But you know what? Let's let Jessica
tell
us when she comes on.
We'll talk to Jess about that. She can explain it. But
yeah.
So before we bring Jess on, though, we got a lot coming up, and we've been doing a lot. We were in Nashville last week, which was a great time. Got to do some karaoke.
Yeah, that was very random and unexpected. But we went to Nashville for a day for work, and we ended up staying Friday night. And I like Broadway, but Broadway has changed and it's so crowded. So like when you go to Nashville now, yeah. So apparently when you go to Nashville now, it starts on Wednesday. The party just starts.
True.
It's so crowded from Wednesday all the way through Sunday or Monday. And on Friday, they shut down Broadway. So no cars are driving through the streets. And so it's just people walking through and it's drunk. And like Chuck said, woo
girls living their best life.
So it's like a bunch of bachelorettes, a bunch of bachelor parties, and people just coming out, hanging out on Broadway, going to the bars. But so one of our coworkers that lives there introduced us to Printers Alley, which is off of Broadway, but it's a small alley and it has a lot of cute bars.
Yeah, mess it up. Everybody will go there now.
They have this karaoke bar. So when we were walking down, we're just like, you know what, let's just go and get a drink because we're going to meet them, and hang out with them. So like, okay. And then we passed this one karaoke bar called Kelly. I think it's Kelly's Karaoke. And the guy was like, $5 beers. And so we're like, all right, let's go in.
Let's do it.
And it's 9 p.m. It's empty, maybe like 10, 15 people at the most in there, and the tables are all spread out and people are just sitting there, and there's this person on stage singing. You can pay $5 to do a karaoke song.
Oh yeah, by the way, you have to pay to do karaoke.
Yeah, you have to pay.
We're not just gonna let anybody get up here. You're gonna pay some money for us to endure,
which is a really great
it makes sense. It's interesting because the $5 beer did get me in the door, but I don't drink beer. Yeah. Like the guy's like $5 beers. I'm like, $5 beers, let's go. And then I go in and drink whiskey the whole time. I didn't even take advantage.
I know. Yeah. You paid the $5 for the karaoke.
That's exactly what I did.
So he and I are like, you know what? Forget it. Let's just go on and do a song. So I did a song.
Can I ask you a question?
What?
The category of song, because I would probably, what type of song did you do?
I would say it's an energetic ballad.
Right, but it's Spanish.
And it's Spanish.
Okay. And so
which is so random.
We're in Nashville in a karaoke bar where everybody's getting up, they're singing Journey,
Yeah.
or they're singing something that literally everybody in the bar is singing along with. And I'm like, hey, I want you to go sing that song. And she's like, oh my God, Chuck, then no one's going to know it. And I was like, it don't matter. Go up there and own that. So she just goes up there and sings this song. And like at first people were like, but then as she started going, people were like, oh my God, and all that, they were into it.
Yeah. And then Chuck went up right after me and he did his famous
It's
Vanilla
famous.
Ice.
My famous Vanilla
He's famous
Ice.
for vanilla. I mean, anytime you want Chuck, even to do it, well, karaoke obviously, and he knows all of the words to the song, so he can really do it.
It's funny, Ice Ice Baby seems to be the one that everyone responds to, but I know so many other rap songs that I could do.
Yeah. So we got up and did that. Oh, I said it was empty, but by the time so we went up there and put our little song in. I swear it was like 30 minutes or more before they called us. It's like 10 more people went up before we got a chance to go up.
It was packed.
By the time we went up, it was like 50 people in there.
Yeah.
So embarrassing. But then we went around the corner to this New Orleans
themed
style bar, which was really cool. And they had a live band playing, and we sat around and listened to them for a while, and we had a good time.
It was a great time. Look, Nashville's awesome. And the Rutledge, if you're in Nashville, there's a restaurant called the Rutledge. Go check that place out.
Yeah.
Great food. They had this Reveillett's Rebellion. And I know I've been telling everybody about it.
Mm-hmm.
It's a drink that it's kind of like an old fashioned, but I say it's better.
Yeah.
It's better than an old fashioned. It was really good. Very like
It wasn't.
had
It didn't
great
have as
taste.
hard as a bite to it.
Didn't have as hard as a bite. I
as
would
an
say that.
old-fashioned.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that was our weekend. Let's go ahead and welcome Jess to the show.
Hey, Jess.
How are you?
Thanks for having me.
Absolutely.
I'm doing good. Thanks for covering from Gettysburg Bike Week, but thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, I can't believe that you're here. You had such a busy week last week, a weekend with Gettysburg Bike Week. So so tell us about like your experience and like how it went.
It looked fun.
Yeah, super fun. I live in the area, so it's so convenient to participate in that event since it's so close. And this year, I really wanted to link arms with them since I'm friends with the owner of the Gettysburg Bike Week and really try to help bring in more people from out of the area and kind of get the influencers involved. So I set up a moto meet and greet with, I think it was like 7 or 8 influencers. And so that was really fun. There was a ton of people in town on Saturday. I've never seen that many bikes in town. So I think it was a good turnout. And we had pretty good weather for the most part. So it was really fun.
Okay. Is that something that runs every year? Is that like a Daytona and that sort of thing?
Yep. It's every year on the second weekend of July. So the weekend following July 4th.
Okay. Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, tell me a little bit about it. What are some of the events, some of the things that go on at Gettysburg Bike Week? I told you guys I was going to have a hard time talking tonight. I don't know why.
So the event itself is at this event complex called All Star, and it is a ticketed event. So you do need tickets to get inside of the gates. Mm-hmm. And once you're inside of the gates, that includes all the entertainment, the live bands and stuff like that. There's a ton of vendors. They have bike games. They have a stunt show and just a whole bunch of different events throughout the weekend. They had a parade that went through town on Saturday. So there's that. And then there's also a bunch of events that happen at our local Harley dealership. Mm-hmm. And then a couple areas that have vendors inside of the, downtown Gettysburg. So it's kind of like spread out so you can ride around and go to different places and find entertainment in multiple locations. But it's really cool to bring people to this area because, of course, we have the battlefields, Gettysburg, the Battle of Gettysburg. And then also we have really nice riding around the area. So within an hour or two, there's really nice twisties and mountain views and all that good stuff. So I feel like it's really underrated, the rally. Mm-hmm. I think the rally could definitely improve, especially for our generation. But that's my goal, is to kind of help them kind of up the level and get it to be a more sought out rally.
Yeah, more mainstream.
Hmm.
That's cool.
Yeah, it's one that I want to do. I've seen it, a few years.
Mm-hmm.
It is definitely one that I want to visit at some point, for sure.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
it helps that Jess lives there, so
I
we
know,
can
right?
come to your side of
I'll show
town.
you around.
Yeah, for sure. It looked like you guys had a lot of fun. So that was
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. It was really hot.
yeah, I heard that like this past weekend was like record highs for like years and years and years. So
Yeah.
it was super hot, like all over the country. We hit record highs in temperature, which is crazy. Yeah, it's been hot lately.
Yeah, it was. I went to Dallas a few weeks back, and I think when we landed on the tarmac, it was 99 degrees, and I think the heat, or it feels like 114.
Oh my gosh.
And then we had to sit on the tarmac because they were having some issue with the planes, and I think we were on the tarmac for like an hour. And if you don't know, you can't run the AC. They only run when they're in the air. So it
Or
was
taxiing or something.
sweltering.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been hot for sure. Well, Jess, it's funny. We've known each other the three of us have known each other for what, a little over a year now?
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think I've ever asked you, how did you get into riding?
So I got into riding because of my mom, actually. I was really interested in riding when I was like 18, I think, 17, 18. But then my stepdad, he got in an accident on his bike and it kind of scared me. So I was like, maybe not.
Yeah.
And then my ex-boyfriend got me back into it because he had a bike and I was like re-sparked by that, being able to ride with Mom and Kevin. And so 2019, I got my license, and then 2020, COVID happened. So I was without a job for 12 weeks. But then after that, I got a bike, and I've been really passionate and just so in love with the lifestyle it's given me. It's brought me new friends, new experiences, and just so much enjoyment and passion. So I'm hooked.
Yeah.
Sounds familiar.
That's ultimately, obviously we all love riding motorcycles. The experience of riding a bike is the main reason why I ride it, but it does help that there's such a great community of people around it. And I've met some of my best friends in the motorcycle community for sure. So I definitely identify with that.
Absolutely.
While you're at it, why don't you tell everybody what you ride?
Okay, I ride a 2012 Softail Slim, and that's actually the very first bike I bought. So I'm still on my first bike. And then I just bought another bike in February. I got a 99 Sportster 1200 with the intentions of chopping it because I'd like to make it into a chopper. But I'm not in a hurry because it costs money.
Yeah.
And I need some help. So for right now, it's just an extra bike. I just took my bike Gypsy to the shop today to actually get my Sturgis pre-check. So I'm ready for Sturgis. And so now I have this Sportster to ride until that gets back. And, Tiffany rode my bike, the Sportster, while she was here for Gettysburg Bike Week. So it's nice to have kind of a backup.
Yeah, I know. I kind of miss not having like the extra bike. I think these bikes have taken forever to like get done. So I'm like not focused on another bike right now. But I think eventually down the road,
sounded like that's where you were going.
eventually down the road, I would like us to have a third bike for situations like that where you need to get work done on the bike and you want to ride or like, you have friends come in that ride, but can't afford or can't get a rental and things like that. So maybe down the road, we'll see.
Yeah. Speaking of our bikes, we got our first dyno result today. So Jess, I don't know if you know, we've been building new bikes and they've been, as Z alluded to, they've been taking a while, but usually bike builds do. There's a lot that goes into them. I think we started talking about it in December, put the plans together in January, build started in February.
Yeah.
And I think mine went into dyno today. And I'm super happy with the numbers. I'm not going to tell you what they are yet because we're going to do like this, we're going to do a video reveal on the bikes, but I'm very happy with them. I'll say that. Yeah. And the bikes
I would have no idea what the numbers mean, so it's fine.
Gotcha. Well, we're going to learn you.
We'll teach it. We'll walk you through the dyno sheet for sure.
Awesome. So besides riding, what do you do?
I'm a hairstylist by trade and makeup artist, so I work full-time in a salon that I manage, and I'm booked out for like 6 or 7 months, and which makes it hard to do like quick trips. I have to kind of pre-plan my trips a year in advance so I can mark out my time and nobody books me. Um, but I love that. And then
Yeah.
I really spend most of my time doing motorcycle stuff. And then the other time I'm spending time with my family. I have a sweet 5-year-old little niece. And so I like spending time with her too. And I love to travel in general. So
Yeah.
So, if you wouldn't mind, I'm gonna ask my question again. What is a balayage?
a balayage is basically a French word that means to sweep. So it's a technique that I use in the salon to actually get this look where it's from dark to light.
Oh, okay.
So it's
Mm-hmm.
really just blended, soft, natural, like highlighting service, but it's a specialty service, so I can charge a lot of money and make a lot of money.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, it's a you have to be. I mean, it's a you have to learn how to do that, right? It's not just
Yeah.
well, I mean, you have to learn how to do everything, but it takes a special technique to get the balayage.
not me. I just do things.
I
I don't have to
know,
learn nothing. I just walk up and do.
but some people can do it and some people can't. It's like an artist, like you're painting a picture.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like a fade.
It
Like
is.
if you're thinking of like in bike terms, it'd be a fade on the. I gotcha.
Yeah.
All right. I learned something today.
Yeah.
I will forget.
And honestly, the reason my page is named that is because initially my page was for hair and makeup, but then when I started really gaining a lot of interest in the bikes, I was like, oh, maybe I can do both.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I did bikes and balayage, and then I decided to just make it completely bikes, and I made a whole separate page for my hair and makeup, but I just kept the name because people know me as that now.
Yeah.
No, it's a catchy name. I mean, even though I didn't know what it was, I was like, oh, that sounds foreign and exotic.
Yeah. Well, that's like me with my Z883. Like
Yeah.
I did that name because I had the 883 Sportster when I first started writing, and now it's just stuck. I can't change
No,
it.
it's a good name. It rhymes. It works. It's succinct.
Yeah.
And Z131 doesn't sound quite as
Well,
good.
and plus Z131 is taken. Like all those things are taken now.
Oh,
so
for real?
yeah, I couldn't do it anyway. But yeah. So do you have any cool rides coming up or any cool trips coming up?
Sturgis is the next one, which I get to enjoy with you two.
Yay!
Yay.
Yay!
I know.
We had such a good time in Sturgis last year.
It was amazing.
Yeah.
That was like, honestly, if I could pick my favorite trip out of all the trips I've taken, that's the one.
Well, I was going to ask you that. Like, out of all the places you've been since you've been riding since 19. What has been your favorite trip? What has been your favorite festival? Is there a moment on a bike that you can go, oh my God, this is why I ride?
Yeah, there's definitely two. Like, one of them is whenever I was riding A1A with Mom and Kevin for the first time. I took them down to Daytona, I guess last year. I forget, a year or two ago. And I like was crying. I was like weeping. I was like, oh, this moment is so special.
Yeah.
And then being in Sturgis, making all these new connections and feeling so accepted by you guys, and just the landscapes out there are just, I don't even know the word. They're just amazing. And to be able to have that experience and push myself and, ride the roads, it was just incredible.
Yeah.
I would say that one of my favorite moments on a bike was in Sturgis as well. It was us. You were there, and Z and Jake and Lo and some other folks, and we were on
Spearfish Canyon.
Spearfish Canyon, and we were riding, and we were on that long sweep on Spearfish. And I'm not going to tell you how fast I was going, but the guy in front of me was going really, really fast, and I was right there with him, and the bike was just on point. You know, that feeling where it's like on a razor's edge, just feels like the engine's going through your entire body, and the view is gorgeous. Like there's this sun shining down on you, and the mountains are there, and the bike is just, everything's perfect. And I look in my mirror to see where you are, and you're right there in my pocket, and there's this pack of just, motorcyclists, not just riding, but riding the shit out of their bikes
I know.
in Sturgis. And I just remember thinking, yeah, this is one of the reasons I ride for this feeling of the pack, this feeling of controlling this machine with with you and with my friends. It's one of my favorite moments, and I'm really looking forward to hopefully recreating this year on a new bike.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so exciting.
Yeah.
I know. I'm so excited too. I think you said it very eloquently and very well, but I feel that when you go on trips like that, especially with people that you're not familiar with riding on a regular basis, you're kind of skeptical as to how they can ride and if they're going to be able to, number one, keep their bike up. Are they as safe as you? Are they as gutsy as you on the bike? Are they as respectful as you? And what I mean by that is like respecting the bike, right? Because you have to respect that machine. You can't take it for granted. Because any crazy move that you make, it could be, make or break you. So
I agree. One of the most important things to me, and it's one of the reasons why I like riding with Jake and Lo and Jess and Tiff and the folks that we rode with last year, is that I never felt like anyone. Were we riding? Oh, absolutely. We were dogging those bikes. There's no doubt about it. I mean, we were beating the hell out of them. But I didn't feel like anyone was riding outside of their ability.
right.
And I didn't at any point in time feel like somebody was trying to, show off or be extra. The things that I see, I watch a lot of motorcycle wreck videos. I know I'm a little bit of a a misogynist?
No,
When it,
masochist.
masochist.
Oh my
misogynist.
God.
I'm a little bit of a misogynist. That's why I'm around women constantly. No, I'm a masochist in that I watch a lot of wreck videos with motorcycles, and people have, dude, can you watch that stuff? And I watch all of them. I don't even just watch the ones you can get on YouTube. I watch it when people get messed up.
Mm-mm.
And one of the things that I find in, I would say 95% of those videos, is that it is operator error. Someone doing something they shouldn't have been doing on the bike. And it's funny because you'll watch them get mad at somebody else. Like they did something, but you were doing 100. Look, if you're doing 120 on the bike, you're accepting somewhat the responsibility that if something goes wrong,
Yeah.
you're at fault here. Most people aren't doing that.
Right.
Right. You know
Shouldn't
what?
be doing it.
Shouldn't be doing that. So anyways, but in all that scenario, and then the ones that always, let me get finished. The ones that always crack me up is like when someone barely cuts someone off and then they chase them down on their bike. Like, what are you doing, man? He's like, oh, I didn't see you. He's like, you almost killed me, bro. it's always that. It's always so extra.
Yeah.
But that's one of the things I like riding with the group that we ride in. Nobody that we rode with last year ever gave me a feeling of, I got to be careful around
Right.
this person because they don't know how to control their bike
know.
or they're a little too wild. I've only had that feeling a couple of times, and I'll be quite frank with you. The people that I've had that feeling with, I've never ridden with them again.
Yeah. But that's rare, to have like such a succinct group of people that can just keep the pace and ride respectfully with each other. I go on rides all the time where I'm like, oh my gosh, this person should not be riding. Like they need
That's
to.
your internal judgment. You don't say it out loud.
They need to practice a lot more riding by themselves before they get in with the group. And it just makes you like super anxious when you have someone that obviously cannot control their bike and don't have the skills that it takes to ride in a group. It throws you off.
I'm concerned for their safety.
Yeah.
Right. Because
And
a lot
others.
of, when you get it, theirs and ours, like when you get into trying to keep up with, say, like a Jake. Jake can ride. Jake rides his ass off. And if you don't know how to ride and you're trying to keep up with him because I want to stay with the group, you're going to put Jake and yourself and everybody else in that group at risk. And we've been on rides before where we've had people that it's just pull over.
Yeah.
You need to stay with the group. All right. Why are you leaving the pack and riding up and down on the sides?
Yeah.
Right. Why are you weaving in and out of the group? I mean, we're all doing this together. Be respectful of what we're doing at this point in time. And then on top of that, if you do find yourself in that situation and you're like, hey, you know what? I'll take Jake out. You put me in it. And you're like, Chuck, you ride like a crazy person. You ride like a bat out of hell. I'm going to back off. I'll see you at the restaurant. Okay.
Yeah.
No judgment. Ride your ride. I don't expect you to ride with me,
Yeah.
right? That's anyways. Yeah. So anyway,
Yeah. So that's
Yeah,
I
get on
wanted
my-
to say really quick, I have that video of Chuck respectfully passing me. I love it. He's like, "Mwah, bye," and I'm like, "See you later."
I
I
looked
remember that.
I looked back until I got your attention to make sure, you know, are you good with me going by you? Are you good? And you were like, gave me the thumbs up. I was like, all right.
Bye.
I
Yeah.
know.
So funny.
Yeah.
That was fun. Can't wait to recreate memories.
Yeah, no, this is going to be great. The house we're in this year, we're right next to another group of folks that are going to have some badass bikes. I think we're going to have some really sick bikes. I mean, I don't want to blow up anyone's spot, but you know, we're bringing 2 brand new bikes. We know some other folks that are bringing 2 badass, super custom bikes they're going to be there, and we're all going to be riding. I just can't wait, yo.
Yeah.
I cannot
I know.
wait.
It's a good one. So I
So
know that you're doing Sturgis. Do you have any other motorcycle rallies or trips that you're taking this year?
Yes, I have Ocean City, Maryland Bike Week, which is the first time I'll do that. And apparently there's not much riding. It's just a party, I guess. But um, we'll see.
Well, like Daytona, right?
Yeah, I guess kind of like a Daytona. And
Yeah.
then October, I have a week off at the end of the month. And I was thinking about flying out to California and renting a bike and doing Pacific Coastal Highway.
Oh, nice.
But I haven't made any plans quite yet. And then there's a group of people going down to the Smoky Mountain.
Come, we're
Bike
going.
weekend. I really want to make it work. I would just have to like move a couple days of work, which stresses me out, but I really would like to come.
Okay. Well, if you come, let me know because we're definitely planning on doing that. They do that every year. I think it's changed. They changed the name of it to the Smoky Mountain Rally or something like that this year. If I'm not mistaken, I can't remember, but it's typically the Twin Visionary.
Oh, yeah, we'll definitely be at that. Did they change the name?
I don't know. I'm not sure. Don't quote me on that. Like I
I'm
said,
going to quote you. I'm going to tell everyone now. Z said they changed the name.
I don't know. So that's cool. California would be a dream, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And the way you do it, were you going to ship your bike or were you going to rent a bike out there?
Red bike, she said.
Oh, you said it. She said it. I was sorry. I was doing my live chat. So rent a bike. They have Eagle Rider is really cool to rent bikes from, and then there's this you can rent from like other riders. I personally
Ride share.
Yeah, ride share, which I don't know. That'd be cool to do, but I really want to ride on the Pacific Coast Highway and, you know, all the way down to San Diego and then all the way back up through wine country. That would be amazing to do.
We're going to do it. You've talked me into it. Like, we're going to do a cross country ride. Yeah, we need to.
Okay, so you heard it live on Chuck and Z YouTube. Chuck said that a cross country road trip.
We're going to do it.
Holding him to it.
On the bikes.
On the bikes.
On the bikes. We're not going to trailer. We're going to ride them. I'm caving. We're going to do it.
All right, let's go.
I just don't want to be in pain all the time.
I know.
But it is all good.
So-
I'm sure, you can't handle riding across country. Punk.
I know. So didn't you have
Get some good gear.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. And you have to like time it to where it's not too cold, not too hot. Because we were talking to Gary, who was on a couple of episodes ago, and he said that it got into the hundreds, and he went in May. So in the desert, it was so hot. You know, you have to. So I'm thinking like April, beginning of May. I don't know. We'll see. But didn't you have some?
Oh, yeah. There's actually, so Jess, there's something that I was wanting to talk about tonight. And I thought you were a good person to talk about this with because you even mentioned it earlier. You were working with the festival to put together an influencer kind of meet and greet. And you've built a phenomenal following on Instagram. And so I really have been looking to get some folks' opinion on this because, and I apologize, it's going to take me a little second to set up what I want to talk about. So bear with me. One of Chuck's rants. Call this an I don't get it segment. There we go. All right. I feel like the social influencer or the influencer culture and the perception of it over I would say probably the last year, maybe even a year and a half, has started to change quite a bit from being something that people go to seek out opinions on what people are doing with their bikes to almost something that is kind of frowned upon. Like a little bit of, oh, you're an influencer in the moto community. And I think that it's partly the influencer's fault in the way that they've approached just what they're doing in general. And I'll give you an example. Like whenever it comes to endorsing something, right? And I think this goes back from our background, what we do professionally. Whenever we put our opinion on something, however much that's worth or not to anyone, right? But to us, it's valuable. And when we put our opinion on something, we want to know, or we want people to know that we took this seriously, that we use the product, like the product, endorse the product, that we actually are someone who is taking part in this. We're not just having stuff sent to us or someone said, hey, I'm your friend and I have this product. Will you help support me? And because of, I think, my career where I deal with employment, and when I refer somebody, it carries weight. Like if I say, I think this person will be a good employee, someone's going to hire that person based on what I say. And because of that, over my career, it's gotten to where it's pretty hard to get me to refer somebody because I've been burned so many times. I have family members who I've helped get jobs who end up, not working out and making me look bad. And I will never send them on give them another opportunity to do so, to go to work for one of my companies because of that. And I think that happens with influencers a lot, in that they'll just get a product sent to them, or a friend of theirs will say, hey, support other men doing things or support other women doing things. And they'll just put that product out there and endorse it as if it's a great product. And I think that over a span of time has degraded, I guess, the overall trust that what people are saying whenever they're endorsing these products is real. And I'm just curious as to, this is the other piece, and then I'm gonna let you go. Sorry.
You're good.
And then there's also, along with that, what I think is probably overall the bigger problem is that there's a large group of folks within this community that aren't in it. I can't say they're not in it for riding, because I know they like to ride, right? But it's more like the bike is kind of a prop. Like the bike kind of helped them get into this community, got them attention. And then they started, they saw that when they do this with the bike, it gets them a lot of attention. So now every video is them doing something like that. Right. And it's kind of, I think it devalues the overall. Last caveat, I'm going to say, I ultimately don't care. Do whatever you want to do, right? Yeah. I mean, good on you. If you make this work out for you, I have no right, no desire to ever stand in your way of doing, I'm not talking about you, Jess, I'm about someone in general, of doing what you want to do. But I also don't necessarily want to be associated with it, because I feel like I don't know. Does any of that make sense? What are your thoughts on that, Jess?
So I believe that, there is an intention and an energy that you can feel from people's posts and their content. And if you are aware, which I know you guys are very aware, humans, like, you can tell where the intention and the energy is coming from. And so, of course, there's plenty of different types of consumers, and those consumers might like different types of content. So the person that we're thinking of, we might not be interested in their content, but there's probably a group of people that love it. But then there's probably a whole nother group that looks at that and they're like, cringe, So I know for me, I really try to make my page about inspiring, educating, sharing fails, because they happen to all of us. And I don't think that you should hide them. I think that's an opportunity to share education and growth. And also the community, I really love to build community. So again, I think it all comes down to intention and energy behind each thing, and everybody is just in what their intentions and their energy is.
Yeah. And I guess it's kind of hard to know what other people's intentions are without you being them, right? Because, I mean, they can tell you whatever,
Yeah.
but at the same time, they're doing what they want to do because they want to do it. And I'm doing what I want to do because it brings me joy to see other people. I would say people that are like me, that didn't grow up around riding. Like, you're different, Jess. Like, your mom rode, right? My parents didn't ride. I think my dad rode when he was in El Salvador, but I wasn't around motorcycles growing up. So I didn't get into riding until 7.5 years ago when Chuck picked up his dream bike. So for me, it's different. And my intentions are, like you said, to educate, to show that I'm having a good time, and to build a community and to have camaraderie with other like-minded individuals. But I would say that even within the motorcycle community, there are different, I think we said this last time, there are just different groups within the motorcycle community, like different genres that you can relate to or not relate to. And I love it because it just shows diversity. It shows that this culture is for anyone and everyone that wants to be a part of it. But going back to what Chuck said on that part of the influencer side, for me and for you too, just getting into riding 2.5 years ago, and for me being in it for 7 years and seeing it from a social media point of view as well, and kind of developing relationships with people that are a part of that whole social media community. I just don't want it to get so watered down and so to the point where people don't take you seriously, when it comes to the value that you provide, whether you like it or not, right? But I feel that people follow you for a reason. There's a reason why they're following your content, why they ask you questions, and your opinion on certain things. So I just don't want it to get so watered down where your opinion's not valued and you're just seen as another influencer as opposed to being someone that's credible.
Yeah.
I think that's ultimately what it goes to for me, is the credibility of it. All of this, none of this with the motorcycle stuff was intended to have the social media thing, right?
Yeah.
It was, hey, I like doing stuff on motorcycles. Do you like doing stuff on motorcycles? Here's some pictures of us doing stuff on motorcycles. Do you like that?
I know.
Oh my God, do you like that? Let me make some more videos of us doing stuff on motorcycles. And then I started doing the performance upgrades, and I started talking to people about their opinions on upgrades. And the people that I respected, like again, Jake. I value Jake's opinion on motorcycles quite a bit. There are other people who have a much larger following than Jake would ever have, but I don't value their opinion because 2 weeks ago they endorsed this, and then this week they endorsed that, and then this week they endorsed that, and they're competing products, and it's all about just trying to. There's no credibility there, and I think that's ultimately what, again, the concern is that it's going to make it harder for the people that are coming up behind these folks who maybe don't have as many opportunities and need that are talented and need this opportunity to work with some of these vendors and to work with some of these companies in order to be able to showcase their talent. And because you've got, folks that throw a logo on and stick their boobs in your face, or you know what I mean? Or something along those lines, I think eventually people are going to stop seeing the return on that. They're going to stop seeing any value in working with these influencers. And I think it's almost there already. Because how many people do you know online that when you see them endorse a product now, you have the opposite effect? Oh, they're endorsing it, I probably don't want it.
Yeah. I mean, there's a few.
Yeah.
There definitely are.
Anyways.
But I love Jess, I love what you're doing out in Gettysburg and your community out there. I
Thank
noticed
you.
that you have a bike night going. Is it a
Yeah.
monthly bike night, a weekly bike night? Tell us about it.
So it's not weekly or monthly quite yet. I started with working with one of the restaurants that's in my town. I do the owner's hair, so it was kind of like an easy way to kind of get in there.
Yeah.
And it's such a great turnout that people were like, when's the next one? When's the next one? So I planned another one, but this time I did it somewhere else just to kind of, I don't know, try a different venue, kind of give the opportunity for some other people in a different area to come.
Hmm.
And people are just really loving it. And like I said, I just love bringing the community together. It's so much fun. I don't get anything from it except for my own enjoyment of seeing people like get together. But I don't know. It might turn into something cool. But for now, it's just fun and people are enjoying it. So
That's so cool. I mean, I know you have a lot going on with work and then your hobbies. And if you had something that was like a standing kind of thing, you probably wouldn't be able to have as much freedom to go out and do what you love to do on your own. But I think that that's a good start, to have something fun that you've kind of brought the community together that you can kind of own. It'd be cool if you did that maybe throughout the summer or something like that. I don't know. Cause that's what we do with the Litas group. We do our bike nights monthly. It's once a month on a Wednesday. It's, Women Wednesday. But it's not just for women. It's for everybody to come out and hang. And it's actually grown over the last year. I think we've been doing it for like 3 or 4 years, but it's grown over the last year. And there's so many different other moto groups that are coming through. We have a ton of sport bikes coming through. So it changes up the scene a little bit to where it's an eclectic group of people, but it's so fun because you have so many different bikes that you can admire. Anything from antique bikes to scooters that are souped up that can go, I don't know,
Super
90 miles
fast.
per hour. Craziness. To your sport bikes and your cruisers and your Harleys and Indians. So it just makes it super fun. So keep doing what you're doing because I feel like that will grow and, you're behind it.
thank you so much.
You said you were going to chop your Sportster. Do you kind of have an idea as to all the things you want to do to it, or are you just kind of in the concept stage?
Kind of in the concept stage. I have some ideas and I know kind of some of the parts that I want to do, and I have an idea for my paint job, but I'm just waiting. I think I need to find someone to help me do it because I don't think I can do it on my own. And also just kind of want to get through my training season to kind of recoup some dollars so I can give the money into, put the money into the bike then.
Have you done any mods to your current bike?
To Gypsy?
Yeah.
Daytona, I got the 2-into-1 Reinhardt exhaust and intake, and that's pretty much it. But now I'm itching for a cam.
Are you? What size is the engine in that bike?
It's a 103.
Okay. All right. Nice.
I really want a Road Glide, but like I just financed my roof and my HVAC unit, so I'm trying to be like responsible, and so I feel like a cam would be cheaper than buying another bike.
Yeah, you've had her for 2 years, 3 years?
2.
Yeah. I mean, I had my Sportster for 4 years, and I did. I mean, she was 105 horsepower when I souped her up. I didn't put a cam in it, but I got her
95.
tuned up. Okay, 95. I was giving her 10 more horsepower.
95. We're
How
gonna be honest.
dare he? I want to go fast. So it was 95 horsepower. And I had the Vance and Hines, the long shots, and I had a Vance and Hines breather, and we got it tuned up and a tuner in there. So instead of going, I don't know what it was at stock at the wheel.
It was
But-
in the sub 50 is what I would say.
But I was able to keep up with Chuck a little bit.
For a Sportster, I mean, 95, it's pushing what, 4.5 bills? That's not bad. That'll be quick. Although it's a rough ride. I love getting on your Sportster every now and then, but it's not the most comfortable ride.
But guess what? I didn't know anything different.
You knew nothing. Yeah.
I knew no different. I was like, this.
Every time I'd shift, my knee would hit me in the chin.
I mean, you're way taller than me. But there's nothing wrong with keeping, your bike for longer and then, building up after that once you're super prepared and ready. And I knew when I was ready. It was like, all right, I'm ready. I was actually super sad to get rid of Black Mamba. I cried.
She sure did.
It was a very emotional.
You cry at every bike, though. Every bike we've sold, you cry. You cry. We've got the two that were selling to buy these bikes that we got to keep until these bikes were done, and she's cried twice. Just, I gotta trade this bike. Yeah, I gotta give this bike away.
It's almost like you're giving some of those memories away with the bike, right?
I feel like that.
A little bit.
I do. I feel that way. It's the memories. It's the fact that they performed so well. They got me home safe to and from my destination and no issues for the most part. And I honestly feel like it's the memories, Jess. You hit the nail on the head. It's all of the memories on those bikes and, all the fun we had on them. So
yeah, well,
I feel like too, it almost like becomes like a relationship. Like you guys were talking about, you have this respect for your motorcycle and everything. Like we all name our bikes. It's almost like our baby in a sense. And so, and then again, all those memories are attached to that child, if you will. So I can understand. I can't imagine getting rid of Gypsy because it would be so hard. I'd be like, no, don't go.
I know.
Yeah. Repeating myself a little bit, but every bike has a personality. Every bike has some type of presence to it. And when you spend time on them, I mean, I talk to my bike all the time. I'll be riding down the road and she'll do something like, what are you doing? Just knock it off. What? Or like, I'll get on her one time and she won't want to go. And I'm like, all right, bitch, come on. And then she'll kick in. And almost right as soon as I say, all right, bitch, she kicks in. But I mean, you end up with this. You're right, 100%. That's a good way to say it. A relationship with the bike. And every time you trade them in, I mean, the only good thing is we're going to a new girl.
I know.
That's the only thing that keeps you going.
Yeah.
I'd be so sad if I didn't have a bike in that garage.
I know. So Jess, is there anything that you want to share with our audience or anything that you have on mind?
I can't think of anything off the top of my head. No,
well,
I just...
go ahead.
No,
sorry.
Go ahead.
No. Go ahead.
Oh, really just am grateful for the opportunity to have got to spend time with you guys in Sturgis and build such a great relationship with you guys. And thank you for having me on your podcast. And I'm really so excited for Sturgis with you guys again and all the memories we'll make. It'll be great.
I know. I can't wait. It's going to be such a good time.
Yeah.
I was super excited last year when we were coming down. I didn't know what to expect because, we haven't all like been in a house together for like a week, right? So that's totally different. You're dealing with different personalities and different lifestyles and all that kind of stuff, but it meshed and I can't wait to see how that plays out this time as well. And I want you to, if you don't do the Smoky Mountain, you need to come and spend time here in North Georgia. You can come stay with us. We can go ride the mountains here. I mean, we have some amazing roads and you can come meet all of our friends that we ride with over here too. So
yeah,
I love that.
And Jess, sorry. And just real quick, I know I was talking about the influencer stuff earlier. Like I said, I wanted your opinion on it, but I didn't. I just want to make sure you know that I didn't think about you like that at all. The way that you've grown your social media has been so genuine and authentic and natural and unique. I think you're a great person, a great rider. And I can't wait to see you again. I cannot wait to ride with you in Sturgis. It's going to be so much fun. And not just the riding though. We also have a good time off the bikes in Sturgis. We go out there and we get a little tore up and run down the streets, doing wolf pack shit. All right.
A lot of things that it's like what happens in Sturgis stays in Sturgis,
right?
Except for criminal charges, those will follow you home.
Right.
For sure. All right. Well, listen, truly enjoyed having you on the podcast, Jess. Thank you so much. You're welcome anytime. I agree with Z. Offer stands. Anytime you want to come, let us know. But thanks to everybody who watched. Z, you want to do your thing?
Jess, how do we find you on social media?
You can find me at Bikes and Balayage, and it's bikes.and.balayage on Instagram and YouTube, and I think that's it.
Okay. Do you have anything that's special moto related other than like Sturgis or anything like that you have in the works that you're wanting to share with people, or not yet?
I don't think I have anything really crazy happening yet.
Okay.
But I'm going to accept and be open to receiving that. So
Absolutely. Let's go hit up my girl Jess, bikes.and.balayage on Instagram. And thank you so much for joining tonight.
Yeah.
Thank
Take
you.
care. All right, everybody. Have a great night. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. Again, thank you so much. Last week we had a ton of subscribers. Really got us up there. We're only like, we're about 59 away from 1,000 followers, which is, always kind of a milestone for whenever you're doing a YouTube channel. So thank you guys so much. Have a great week.
All right. Bye.